Like, I mean, are we making this like an open format discussion with everyone here?
Yeah.
Okay.
We're just more mediators to make sure nobody goes at each other's throats.
Oh, so I don't get called trash that needs to resign
right.
because I'm ruining the LSPD again.
Oh, victim mentality starts the first fucking.
Well, it's not the
sentence out of his
victim
mouth.
mentality.
Calm
Let's
down,
keep
calm
it civil.
Oh no. So this is, I mean, this is a stance the marshals are going to take. I mean, you know, this is what was called before.
No.
And it's just kind of like,
Peters, as I said, we're mediators, and we're going to make sure this keeps civil. If this
right,
thing,
but it's
either
like the
from
second
either
I
side,
bring
I'm
that
going to
up,
cut
it's
it
kind
off.
of like now you guys are
Again,
just
you
taking
brought it
sides.
up. No one brought it up, Peters. So let's keep it up to the
Well,
to
then
the
what do we need
subject.
mediators here for?
Can you explain why this is happening? Why this has happened?
Are you looking for like a justification or something?
Why did you change your
just
mind
like to
on
know
like
what's going on.
Yeah, why'd you change your mind?
How'd I change my mind?
But we all agreed, like, how many meetings? 3, 4 meetings, 5 meetings that we've talked about this exact topic of like, oh,
Well,
UPD command is UPD command, but you changed your mind on that.
We talked about it when I
Yeah.
first became chief, you
And
know, about
we have
working
talked-
together, and we haven't really been working together, so...
How have we
just
not been
enforcing
working
the
together?
legislation.
Everybody's been working together.
Literally, our officers ride with
on
each
a
other
daily
every day.
basis. Nobody wants this shit, but it's still being pushed. I mean, your own command doesn't want it.
You know, it's in the legislation, right?
And that doesn't mean it needs to be
Right.
enforced.
It just means
I
what
know,
you're
but
doing
you-
is legal. That's all
I'm
it
just
means.
I'm
Right.
gonna stop you, Peters, and just
Okay.
say it is being enforced, and I don't. I'm not really interested in justifying my actions to you.
Well, you should.
But I'm not.
Well, you included us in your announcement, so I think the least you could have done was call me and talk to me about it.
I would have liked to speak to you.
But you waited till
Uh,
10 minutes off duty
Okay,
and then
calm
put out
down.
the
Let her
announcement.
finish. If we're gonna have a civilized conversation, please let her finish.
You know, I wrote this 3 weeks ago. I would have loved to speak with both of you. 10 or 15 minutes of me going on duty. Both of you went off duty. We just never got a chance to. So, yesterday, I was fully planning on speaking to you, Bones. You went off duty, and I said, all right, I'm done waiting.
Did you call me
But I'm
once?
still
Did you
here.
reach
I'm
out to
still
me?
the undersheriff.
You
too.
could email me. I show up. I mean, there's. Come on now. You said weeks this has been a thing. You could have easily got a hold of me.
It was either you had just gone off duty, or I was waiting for Peters. He went off duty, and I said,
Let
Let's
each other
just forget
finish.
it.
Let's let each other finish. As far as like justification goes, like you guys are looking for justification right now, and it's like I don't.
We want to know what's happening, man. I mean, this is a complete shakeup to the whole PD, completely. It's not just a little thing. I mean, certs have to be redone. Everything would need to be redone. It's a complete and utter
Oh.
shakeup.
oh, I didn't realize certs had to be redone.
Yeah,
Okay.
of course. Why would we allow the LSPD to just command the certs as soon as we enter? We would have our own certs then. It doesn't make sense.
So are those certs going to operate in Los Santos County?
I mean, we're having a discussion, are we not?
I'm asking you, like
Well,
the
we don't
certs
want
that
any of this to
you're
happen at
gonna
all. We want this to
redo-
all go back.
I didn't really ask what you wanted.
Clearly, if you asked what anybody wanted, you would realize that nobody likes it except the little
let's-
posse that hangs out and just talk
mediators,
shit all
Yeah.
day.
Please, can you
Yeah,
please
calm
step in?
down
If you guys are
a
I
gonna
mean, it's
mediate,
just
can you please mediate?
ridiculous. It's like 7 people that are just pushing this narrative. It's the same 7, and it's the same
Okay.
problem people.
Ask what you mean by problem people?
Carmine,
I'm so confused.
Jeb, Peach, Bobby Charles, Vic Hanna, all people that cause problems.
so
I don't know why that's
confused.
hard to understand.
Hey, why are they a problem?
Because they talk shit nonstop. They have an ABAB community where they just try to find things to throw on BCSO officers. They call people up on payphones and make hissing sounds. They make chants at the end of your stupid meetings. Come
Please,
on,
mediators,
it's just
please.
crazy. That
Roll it back
doesn't
a little bit,
happen.
Cassidy.
Cassidy, just chill on the yelling, because I rather this conversation to go.
I know you're passionate on both sides about it, but you need to calm down a bit and actually talk this out with each other.
I would like to know what the issues are from us that makes it impossible to work with us when we don't do the things that the LSPD is doing. We do not do that stuff. I understand there may have been an issue with Crystal and Helen the other day, and we more than allowed Decker graciously to come to the BCSO and to chat with them and recommend punishment if he felt necessary. It's always been that way. So I don't know why it's acting as if we've been these uber aggressive evil people that have just completely disregarded working with you guys on any semblance of a level. We literally are here working with you guys. The past couple of weeks have been the best they've ever been, and that's coming from deputies and officers on both sides. This is a complete blindside. Over the weekend, while we were gone, we were having collaborative meetings again for the first time in how long? And now it's just a huge wrench in the gears for no reason when there was finally progress. Not perfect, but we were working together. And if there was issues and they weren't dealt with, they need to be brought to us.
He killed an LSPD officer. There was, I mean, he wasn't even suspended, so we couldn't conduct an investigation with that whole thing. I mean, has he been suspended?
He's definitely suspended, man.
He's been suspended since me and Moss had the first conversation about it. As soon as I woke up and we had a conversation, he got suspended.
Peters,
That's
you know,
not true,
you and I
because
both
he
know you
did
can't sit on
go
a high
on
horse
duty.
with that.
I'm not sitting on a high horse. Respectfully, Andy, this is between.
Don't say you don't know why I'm here.
Okay,
Please.
can you explain why you're here?
Why would I not be here? This change is massive, and it affects my county just as much as your county. Honestly, I'm not surprised that Nino's not here because of how much it affects both counties. It is my job to keep in tap with what is going on in my county. So respectfully, yes, Peters, I have every right to be here. I don't plan on chiming in a lot. But
Okay.
I'm just trying to understand, and if it hasn't been asked yet, and maybe I was Blair witching in the corner when it was, the only thing I hope to understand is why you guys feel that this is positive for your department or any department. Otherwise, I will shut up.
Like Moss said, we don't really have to justify anything. We're operating within the confines of the law. We had an issue, and I mean, this is how we're dealing with it.
It's not about justifying, it's about understanding your thought process. Because from our perspective, it looks like you guys have 2 weeks left and are just burning it down on your way out for fun.
We're not burning anything out,
So you refuse to answer why you guys made this choice?
Moss.
Because that makes it look like you don't have one.
That's not why we understand.
Moderators,
Let him finish.
Moderators. There's been a slew of issues, and I mean, obviously, during my entire conversation with you, where I
I'm
don't think I called
spacing
you a
out for like
single name
half of
during
this
that,
talk,
but I
I'll
was
be
I was
honest.
berated when I tried to bring up the issues of our officers being shot. 2 separate incidences with Jimbo and Hornwood. We also have.
Don't even.
I mean, listen, I'm not going to justify everything, but there has been a plethora of issues.
Cornwood was suspended as soon as we had a conversation, pending an investigation, which makes total and complete sense and would never have been objected by any of us because an officer died in the line of duty.
Oh, okay. It's good to know that that makes sense now. And
Why are you talking like this?
Yeah,
like,
this-
what the
listen,
weird-
moderators?
No.
Moderators, hold on,
Moderators.
If
Moderators.
Let
he's
Muscle.
going to get roasted for his volume, she should get roasted for her tone if you're going to be even about this.
if you really want to talk about my tone,
I think
pretty
she's
sick right now. But you know, how would you like me to speak, Andy?
Like you are trying to incite certain reactions out of people is how you sound. You sound nothing like you normally sound because the tone of your voice is just aggressive in general.
sick.
Yeah, respectfully, I think this is just.
Okay,
you
well,
know,
if it's just you being
COVID-con.
sick, then it's just you being sick. I didn't know you were sick.
Yeah.
I'm not really interested in justifying my actions. It is what it is. And if you have questions about it that I can clarify, I'm happy to do that. But it's kind of where I stand with it.
I think we've had the overarching question as why the whole time.
Yeah.
I know we've had our issues between us, but why are we over the everyday officers that don't want any part of this stupid shit?
How it's over everyday officers?
You should
Oh,
talk to your officers.
You should talk.
No, calm down.
No, I'm just saying, talk to them and they'll tell you plenty of reasons. I think it's great. I think it'd be great if you listen to them.
I'm asking you.
Okay. They like working with us. They like having a chain of command that they don't really care. They don't see the departments. They don't care. They just care about catching criminals and stopping crime. That is it.
How does that change? Explain.
Are they
They want to
unable?
respect our
Are they
ranks.
unable to do their job now?
We can hamper people in every way possible and still have them be able to do their job. Doesn't mean that we're not hampering them in some way. Even if we just abided by all of your rules and just started going down there, everything gets more complex, everything gets more convoluted, and everything is added steps for zero reason when we don't need it, when we can just be working together. Me and Bones didn't agree with Ruby or Beric on just about anything, but guess what? It didn't affect day-to-day patrol and how we treat the officers on duty. And then we have like just an incredible amount of shit just coming from the south at all times. from the constant phone calls, from the 311s to the threats to the mayor. And you knew that it wouldn't sit right with us at all. You knew exactly what it would be. And you can't play silly. You can't play stupid because you knew
Give
that
him a
this would
chance to
happen.
respond now, Cassidy.
Okay. Like I said, so you guys both read the whole thing, right?
Yes.
Bones, did you read it?
Yep.
You know, Peters suggests that certifications have co-leads. Oh, we're not doing co-departmental certifications anymore.
You agreed with it. You were like,
Let her
yeah,
finish
I
talking,
100%
Bones.
agree.
I mean, but it's just an example that by the way you react anytime there is the smallest change, anything that does not 100% go in your direction, you throw UPD out the window. So this whole
That's not even
UPD
true.
bullshit, I'm not buying it.
Okay.
You quite
Where
literally
is the-
agreed on every single thing that we said about the search.
Because
you did.
I did. I'm not saying I'm not. I'm just saying that those are examples of any time that there.
But that's
that
not an
something
example.
doesn't
Okay.
go-
Oh, what
it is.
the
It is
hell?
an example
It's
because
not an
anytime
example because
something
it's not
doesn't go
true.
your
Okay.
way,
Let Moss
how
finish
is it not
talking.
true?
Because
Because
it wasn't
you
that it
were on the
didn't go
same
our
page
way.
as me.
What happened was, first of
One
all,
at
I
a
want to
time,
make it
one
very
at a time.
clear
Yeah.
that the conversation we had was it was your decision. It was your idea to have one cert lead.
It was. You're right.
We decided to get rid of the ranks. One day, Peters walks into our office and does not ask, to make it very clear he did not ask. He said, we're going to do co-leads. And we said, we just went back and forth about this for a whole week because we didn't agree at first. And we had we argued here and there. And we were like, we're done with this shit. So, yes, we did walk out. But it was never never a question, to be clear. He made it a statement, and then you told us that you don't know where he did that from, that was totally out of left field, and that you did not agree with him. Every time we talk, you say something, Peter says the opposite, and then we get a different answer every single day.
Just leave it at
That's not
just leave it at-
fair. It's
just
not
leave it at
every
that.
single. I mean, you should.
It was,
probably
though. It literally
praise-
was, though.
I mean, it was literally just the cert thing. It wasn't. What else did that happen with?
You guys flip-flopped on... I don't mean to bring it up again, because I know it's a sore subject for whatever reason, but on the Vic Hanna stuff,
But what do you mean we flip flopped on it?
it's fine. Forget about it.
No,
I don't give a shit.
no. I want to. What do you mean we flip flopped on it?
We found that you guys said that if he was found out to be that he hit that person off that bike, that he was gonna be fucked. And I did the investigation, and I found out that he lied.
He struck
Nothing
the
happened.
bike. Did he not?
No, he hit the lady. But whatever, we're past it now.
Wait, he won the court case. Did he not?
I don't think there was a court case.
I don't believe there was a court.
There was
I
a
might
court
be
case.
wrong, but I don't
I'm
remember.
pretty
off the
sure
top
there
of my
was a court case, and he won the court case.
head. I know he did a reenactment in a PD meeting.
99% sure that there was a court case, and he won the court case.
Okay. If you see the court case, then I'll admit that I was wrong. EMS told me that she had beatings consistent with the baton, and Tackleberry told me that he saw him beating her. So what else am I supposed to go with?
Anything else we flip flopped on?
This. So
Oh.
UPD is UPD, and UPD rank is UPD rank, and a sergeant in the BCSO is equal to a sergeant in the LSPD in y'all's county.
You guys flip-flopped
I mean-
on how we would dole out punishments. It was a UPD thing at first. Then Peter said, no, it has to go through us. Then it was a UPD thing again. Every time Daisy said that she wanted to be UPD, Peters was the one that was trying to change it. That was from your own mouth.
Meeting just sounds like you just don't like me.
But no, it's not that we don't like you. It's just we don't understand. We want to work together. We genuinely do.
Are you just hard stuck on it? You're not going to listen to anything that we say, that your officers say? You care about what people want to do?
Actually spoke to Lavender about it.
How does Shift 3 feel? Because I found it funny that you decided to exclude them, but keep it in the other.
Feel like it was necessary to do it in shift 3.
Why is it necessary in the other two shifts? I think we can all agree that they have the best way of working together, which is it doesn't matter what department you are.
I
Yeah,
mean,
it would
they're
be
the
nice
most,
it would be nice if the other two shifts worked together in the same way that shift 3 did.
and it seems
Then
like
let's
we
do
were
it.
trending in that direction. If you give us the reasons, we can try to fix them.
I mean, we don't even have shared meetings, and
We did over the weekend.
I don't really know what you want me to say when I was told that BCSO would not be attending LSPD meetings if Peters was there. So
So
But
this is about
instead of having a conversation and trying to work it out and being like, okay, you know, maybe we can try one meeting, you guys decided to put out a crazy thing that is going to throw a wrench into everyday operations.
Is it going to
We
throw a wrench into LSPD operations or BCSO operations?
All the UPD.
There
There
is
is no UPD.
You guys practice that one? Got that one?
Okay,
Okay.
moderator.
That was pretty
That's
good.
the unfortunate
Moderators.
reality that there is no unified police department.
Moderator,
Yeah.
thank you.
That's just how it is. There is
But
no
it could
That's
be.
not to say
It
that
could be.
what
Yes,
one department does doesn't affect the other. And this
that is
definitely
very
does.
true.
I mean, I think it's a pretty clear example, right? I don't think that Moss and I have been facetious at all. We haven't raised our voice or anything. I mean, it's like comments like that is just like, I mean, it's so unnecessary. And it's like, I'm trying to talk to cast
the practice one?
moderators.
Why are
Let
you
Peters
calling them
finish.
moderators? I'm just trying to figure out what you're talking about. I didn't even mean it in a
Moderators.
bad
Just-
fashion.
Let Peters finish.
Can I?
please.
No, I don't. I think he took it the wrong way. I don't mean that in a bad fashion.
Okay, Peters, go on.
Okay. I have tried to talk to Cassidy in the past, and I won't repeat the things. I'll just, to keep it professional, I was met with resistance.
Don't
Treat,
even
obviously, you
respond.
know about the Carmine and Bobby shit. Hi, Eleanor, whatever. There's that whole situation. I mean, I don't. Marshall's, are you aware of the situation with that?
We have somebody looking into it.
The gun,
Yeah.
and reading someone's. You know, I mean, that's another one. Bean coming down saying you were a dog shit department. I mean, that's another one.
All things that have been handled internally.
No, let him finish.
Okay.
So far.
I'm writing them down. I'm writing them.
Okay.
You know, I think you're not gonna like what I'm about to say, but at the end of the day, you know, I understand that you're here looking out for your department, just as we feel like we are looking out for LSPD right now. And
Let her finish.
Let me
you
answer
know,
that.
we're gonna abide by the legislation, and that's kind of it.
Have you spoke to anybody in your department besides Carmine, Bobby, and the other, I guess, 3 or 4 of them?
Actually,
Have you spoke to your
not-
command that's enforcing all this? Because your
I've
command told you
spoken-
not to go through with this, and guess what? They woke up to you putting it in. So, I guess you are caring about your department. You're right.
All right. You asked her a question. Let her answer.
Again, there's. I think the facetious
think-
stuff
I think
isn't
you
necessary.
That was
asked-
that was
asked and
facetious.
answered that
I
question.
apologize. So.
Actually, I have not spoken to Bobby or Carmine about this. I have spoken to members of command about it. Does that answer your question?
Who?
I don't understand why it matters. What is?
She
what
brought
is
it
the
up. It does matter. I mean, she's caring about her department. They're the one enforcing all this.
They all said they were against it.
What was that, Andy?
Said they all said that they were against it. At least the ones we've talked to.
Who did you guys talk to? Decker?
I'm not
Yeah.
gonna give you. Okay, well,
Well,
I
who
wasn't
did
gonna
you-
give
who else
names
did
so
you
that they
talk
could get
to?
thrown under the bus.
I think Decker's great. I think people are entitled to their opinions. But I understand. But you said you talked to a bunch of our command.
We talked to
We
your
talked to a
command.
bunch of people.
Guys, I know I could name everybody,
The Helen
but
situation. Helen was suspended for multiple days. She was dapped, and it was also told to the marshals so that they could
I
investigate.
know I
it
could
further.
name a bunch.
I don't know what else you guys want from us on that regard.
I'm not gonna burn everybody, but Decker was literally here with
a
us
rights
in the meeting.
violation. She was
you know?
punished. It was given to the marshals.
It's very clear that Decker was.
I don't know
talking
what else
with
to
us.
do. Bean acted out of line. Guess what? Bean was dapped. Pretty simple. He was told not to do that shit. He was told to knock it off, and he had a conversation with me and Nakota. What about you guys calling Cricket earlier when he was helping with an operation and forcing him to come to the south?
Well, no. So I called Cricket and I asked what he was doing, and he said he was patrolling up north.
I think
And
they got
said, well,
5 minutes
you
to
applied
wrap
for a
it
job
up.
at the LSPD,
Okay.
and you should probably be patrolling the city. I was like, I don't really have any problem. I was like, if you have friends up there, like you could put an application in and you get hired up there. But if you're going to be in the LSPD, you should probably be.
See,
patrolling the
but
city.
do you not get that's just why the divide? Like people want to work
There's-
together.
Okay,
Cricket
let
wants to
Peters
work with the
finish
people that
his
he was
answer.
working with today.
Thank you, moderators. He didn't tell me any of that.
I mean, you just made the assumption. You looked at his blip and then called him and
no,
told him to
I-
come to the south. What is he
okay,
going to do? Fight
no,
with the assistant chief on the phone?
You were making assumptions. Now I asked what he was doing. He didn't tell me anything about an operation.
But again, he's not going to argue with you because you're the assistant chief of police.
Honestly,
He asked you to come
we
down
should
there.
just
You have to
end the
understand that
conversation.
he's not going to be
It's
like,
never gonna go
"Sir, I
anywhere."
want to hang out with my friends." After you said you should come down to the south.
Well, that,
Like
that
you have to
wasn't-
understand that power dynamic.
No, that wasn't the
Marshal
case. I
Moderator,
asked what he was
if you're
doing.
getting tilted, just don't watch.
Okay.
It's
mean,
roleplay. It
he
doesn't
didn't tell me
matter.
he was doing anything. He never told me any of that. I mean, if he told me that, and I was like, if he would have been,
He told
None
you
of
he
this
was
matters.
patrolling
It's
up
just
north,
all passive
and
aggressive.
he was patrolling
And
with
they
somebody in the
refuse to give
BCSO
their
that was
reasons,
riding.
and they're not going to budge on
no,
that. So
I literally saw him.
pretty
standing
much the
inside
entire
of
conversation is
BCSO
going to be
Yes, because we
rehashing.
just finished an
Let
op
him
and we were
finish.
talking
Stop
Other
talking
shit.
over him.
And I even said I don't really have any issues with you. I mean, if you want to patrol in Blaine County, that's great. Like, you should get a job in Blaine County. But if you want to work for the LSPD, you should probably patrol in the city.
Bro,
He wants to
Cassie,
work
move on,
with.
move
He
on,
just
move on,
wants to
move on,
work
move
with
on,
his
move
friends.
on.
That's it. He wants to work with people that he's friends with.
The counter would be there's crimes being committed, and the reality is there's more crimes committed in the city than in your guys' county. I have a duty to make sure that he is responding to those calls.
I mean, sure, if you think so. I mean, people are just not going to want to come on duty.
The reality is people apply for this job. If they don't want to do the job, then that's fine.
Sure, but we should still be looking after them and making it a positive work environment and giving them opportunities to do what they want within the police force. It's a police force. We're not. It's not that crazy. Like, we don't have to go that crazy.
Do you feel like you make it a positive environment for me when I come on duty?
I don't think I interact with you, and I think the one time that I blew up in your face that was very bad, which again I have apologized for, was
No,
because
there was never an apology.
you, and I do apologize for that. But I said what I said because I was angry, and I gave the response that I did, and I said I called you what I called you.
What exactly is a human?
Oh no.
You don't know.
No shot. You're
Nope.
going to pull that when Nino called him what he called him.
What
Yeah,
did Nino
I mean-
call him?
I'm not repeating it.
I'm not Nino. I don't know what Nino called it. I listen. I'm only responsible for my actions, and I think
Called him the
Moss and
R
I.
word.
Do you think it's worse than human?
This
Yeah,
is gonna go into
We're
something else.
hitting the point
Let's keep it
where
I don't know why we're
No,
bringing
no,
that
no,
up
no.
when I didn't.
yeah,
I didn't
it's not
say
necessary to bring any of that up. So Moss Peters, do you want to explain yourself as to why you're deciding to enforce the legislation?
it. The stuff keeps on happening, and it's like you bring up the Bobby and the Carmine, and it's like the Jeb, the Peach, whatever. It's like people are hissing. It doesn't seem as serious as people coming down, calling us whatever names they've called us, coming down, telling LSPD's a shit department.
Nothing
BCSO
worse
officer.
than what you said. Sorry for
Oh.
cutting you off.
No, let me
Wait,
finish.
what have I said?
Like,
Blainer.
They don't have to
fucking
justify
Raiders?
it.
Yeah, I mean, come
All
on.
they have to do is say that they
Come
don't
on.
want to justify it.
Let's
That's
not-
all they have to do.
We're not.
Did
innocent
I
of this.
mean any of that maliciously? Is that bad?
I mean, we've explained the power dynamics behind everything. We've
Yeah,
gone through
I-
this, and I feel like we're not. I don't even think that this meeting got what we wanted to get accomplished at all. But
Star Wars? There's no way it's
it
from
turned into,
Star
like,
Wars.
The classic, we're just throwing shit at each other,
I'm-
of like
I
every
haven't
bad
thrown
thing.
anything at
They live in
anyone.
the same.
Well, we're just giving examples of things that
I didn't
happen.
know
We all
that.
understand that.
It
shit
sounds like a
happens.
football
We all
team.
understand that things happen.
One person getting angry and frustrated at a situation and saying the LSPD sucks does not represent the culture that we're building there. And Bean
Well,
was punished for it.
A few weeks ago, I had a meeting in the South Side, and I was shot. I was trying to figure out what was going on with people rolling around down there. The inhabitants of the South Side ended up saying that we had officers that were acting like they were gangbangers, going in, shit talking, doing all this stuff. I ended up going down there off duty to try to smooth things out. I got shot in the head. Saint ended up calling Ventura to tell him about it. Ventura and Nakota went straight to the marshals without ever contacting me to make sure I was okay, to try to get me. I mean, it just seems like at every situation we are just getting over on these situations, and it's like I don't know. I don't know what to tell you.
Okay. Are you
Like-
guys not actively trying to push charges for Cornwood when we've been acting with qualified immunity this whole time?
I haven't been doing anything.
Yes. I mean,
I think-
you were shot. You shot and put somebody in the ICU in the Blaine
Stop!
County Fair.
Stop! I don't give. We're going back to these. If your officers all like don't want to do this in the LSPD, and they want to go back to what it was before, would you do that?
If all of our, I mean,
Stop. I'm thinking about it. Hold on. That's a conversation that I would be open to having with LSPD if there was, I think, majority of them did not want to proceed with this. It would then have to be a conversation still about how things would change between the BCSO and LSPD. I think that there would still be certain constraints because I do feel there are issues with LSPD and BCSO and how things operate in the city. LSPD command struggles dealing with BCSO issues within the city. You know, it's this awkward back and forth of, do we deal with it? Do we send it to BCSO? Things end up not even being addressed, you know. So
What-
I can I finish?
Just let me.
So
Cassie, you're triggering them.
I would
Just let me
say
talk to them.
it's
But
not
that shouldn't even be an
something
issue.
that
I know.
I'm completely
I know.
close to, but it doesn't mean that things are going to be
Just
exactly the
let me
same.
talk. If they're actually having struggles like that, they can talk to us. I mean, we talk to, at least like we talk to Decker. We also talk to King. I mean, there's people we talk to. I talk with Maxwell. They can talk to us about any of this shit if it's actually causing problems. And if you want, if you're fine with me talking to them, I will talk to them about these things and try and like figure out what's like kind of like the problem. But I would just get a temperature check on like what your department's like right now and like what they're feeling. Think the way to go about this is just doing what we always do and throw situations at each other. It's not healthy.
Much as we might not get along or may not like each other, whatever it may be, we still want to work as a UPD and we still want to make sure that people are having a good time on duty. We are willing to work with you guys whatever way we need to make sure that happens.
I mean, it
Okay.
doesn't sound like you're willing to work with us anyway because you're not willing to do this.
Yeah, let
mean,
me
I think
ask a
this is-
question really quick. You guys on the BCSO, you're obviously very upset about the legislation being enforced. It is well within their rights as the LSPD, like, high command to enforce that legislation.
Yeah.
You guys are saying, why can't we be a unified police department? Do you just not want to work with it at all if you can't have your ranks in the county, or...
I kind of am gauging what everybody else wants to do when they're on duty. And that's both departments. Because I think that's important for us as high command. We have to make an environment where everybody is like wanting to do this, you know? It can't just be like a top thing, right? Officers and stuff like that, they want there to be different departments for different cultures. They want there to be ranks that, you know, are earned equally. I mean, I think it's equally as hard to get sergeant in BCSO than it is in LSPD. But I don't think anybody wants to like have this extreme divide.
What do you think will change? How do you think the day-to-day operations are going to change because we're giving jurisdictional authority to LSPD officers in Los Santos County?
A lot of big, yeah, it's just given
you think
unnecessary.
Tackleberry's gonna big you?
I mean, Tackleberry's not the person that we're gonna be dealing with.
You think Charlotte Spade's gonna big you?
No, but you promoted Vic Hanna
Think
today.
Ruby
right?
York?
I think he would do
or
it.
Avery Stone?
No, but I think all these people that you're naming don't want this, and I think you should talk to them.
Hold on. I want to know when have I ever pulled up and just been like, the BCSO, this is my scene.
I don't think you've had the opportunity to.
I've been on tons of calls. I've never done that.
I don't think you had the opportunity to.
So
be honest.
okay, so Vic Hanna and Tyler Peters.
I mean, Bobby and Carmine, Jeb and Peach, I know they're people that can't enact anything themselves, but they are people that have tried to push that.
Okay, but that doesn't
Like,
apply
that is
with.
that. Of course, that applies though, because people will use that to their advantage, knowing that they can call a senior to take over a scene at any point.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that this wasn't even enacted when any of that happened. That was just Bobby being Bobby.
Yeah, but that's what I'm
That
saying.
seems
It's
ridiculous,
like,
though, right? No.
Well, the ridiculous thing is that they detainment and then took his 95 and cut a.
Sure, but
cut
you're
him
just
loose.
believing Bobby's side of the story.
No, I
mean,
read the report and read the entire report from everything. Like he had grounds for detainment. Vehicle.
All right.
Okay.
I don't think Crystal and Helen would ever do anything malicious and like that to
Bro.
try to joke over Bobby. That's all. If they genuinely made a mistake, they genuinely made a mistake, and they were apologetic for it, and they were willing to take any punishment that they needed to take.
I can't stand talking about situations that happened in the past.
Okay, that's fine.
So with this legislation in mind, how do you see, you know, a day-to-day operations?
More problematic. A lot more stuff, loopholes to go through. I don't know what is this whole shit with the certs.
Like certs are still cert. Like the cert leads still run the certs.
Isn't High Command like already in charge of that? Why did it have to be LSPD
Yeah,
Command?
I don't expect it to really be an issue, but
It is a thing though. Like you wrote it into an announcement that is included in jurisdictional authority. That's in legislation. The jurisdictional authority is in legislation, and this is how you guys want to do it.
And if, you know, the cert leads are doing some crazy thing, we're covered. And, you know, somebody
You're already
can,
covered. Sorry for cutting you off, but you're already covered. You're high command. We oversee the certs. We oversee every single cert.
Yeah, and I'm not on duty 24 hours a day.
Sure, but it'll get brought to us. I mean, it's supposed to be over the like. No one should be really telling the cert leads what to do except us. I mean, that was my thought on
This
that.
isn't
I
gonna
would
go
say
anywhere,
I'm willing
guys.
to change that part if it is such an
Oh
issue.
wait, maybe it will. Oh.
But we can change it to high command.
Oh wait, hold on.
We'll oversee it.
Okay, hold on.
Like we already oversee all the certs. We already chose the cert leads. We can remove those people.
Yeah,
We already
within Los
do that.
Santos County, LSPD High Command will oversee certs.
Right, but we're already under a thing where statewide the high command as a whole works that way. You see where this is like kind of like why are we making it a pain in the ass to deal shit that we already can do?
I mean,
That
I
we
don't
already-
think it's a pain in the ass.
I do. You're not blind
Why
to
do you
it.
see it as a pain in the ass?
Because why is it specifically LSPD command or LSPD high command when we all as a group all agreed on cert leads?
Certs have always
Because
been
it's
like
Los Santos
between the both of
County,
us.
and
Yeah.
it's the jurisdiction for Los Santos County
Daisy.
is LSPD.
Daisy, you're the one who wanted to do this. Do you see where like how we're sitting? You're the one who wanted to choose all the cert leads, right? As a UPD thing, and now it's just, oh no, and we're just now only going to be us two whenever it's in our county. It's not good, Daisy.
But what are we telling our officers we can't do that they're on
Talk
duty?
to him. Talk to him.
No,
I'm sure they'll vent to you.
I'm asking you.
I don't. I've talked to multiple officers today, and none of them want this. They're all like, "What is
Okay,
this?"
hold on, but what can't our officers do?
Doesn't matter. They want to patrol with the people in BCSO, and I get that they can,
I
but they want the
think
BCSO
I think
people
it
to care
does
about it as well.
matter. What can't they do?
What do you mean? What can't your officers do? They have everything. They can do whatever.
What can't BCSO deputies do?
Well, I mean, I don't know. Deputies, they're not really affected. This is kind of just like the
Oh,
command plus.
Not affected.
And the
I
other
like
thing
that
is,
tone. That wasn't because you're sick or anything. That was a sly remark.
If everything is fine and people aren't going to use it anyway, then why? Like, you guys know the outcome of pushing this, and things are trending in the right direction. We're having the meetings,
Are
shared.
they trending in the right
things are
direction for
not
LSPD
trending
or
in the
for
right direction.
BCSO?
Ask Avery. I mean, I think she said that things were trending great, and the last couple of weeks have been good.
They have been good. They've been great.
Okay, so you just answered your question.
The way that the announcement is written, like without Moss and Peters changing any of it, is the BCSO going to respond to anything outside of 78?
Most likely not. No.
Why?
Just don't think that it's a welcoming place for anybody in the BCSO. I think they're not taking into consideration anything. They're making it entirely difficult, and they're walking back on what things that they already want to do. And I know your viewpoint is not this, Moss. I know it is not.
I wrote it.
I know you
so
did, but I feel
think
like I talked to you
think
for
it's
2
pretty
months,
clear what
and you were
my
so against
viewpoint
this.
is.
You were extremely against this.
Well,
You hated
know.
this. You would hate to see what you become 2 months
Yeah,
ago.
and-
Moderators,
And then
moderators.
two
Yeah,
two
let Moss
officers
answer.
died. I have BCSO command calling LSPD a shit department. Cassidy over there calling Peters a human.
Let's
so
go back to keep pointing
Yeah, you can
fingers.
be,
Back to the
This all happens,
jurisdiction
but we
stuff.
can
Let me-
point fingers all day
me-
about all the shit
let
you
me-
guys
can
have
I-
done
can I
too. What does it
finish
matter?
speaking?
Yeah, let her finish.
You guys were in my moment. I was gonna say Cassidy calls Peters a human. Well, now you guys are a sub authority. And let's go.
I
We
mean,
don't have a car here.
That
what
was
do you
so
do?
cool.
I mean,
That
like,
was
like,
sad. I'm
it's
glad you
just
got your
stupid.
your
That
cool
was pretty
I'm
one-liner.
not gonna lie, it kind of was. cool.
They don't have a car. Anna, go give them a ride.
See? Like, it's just
Wow, that was...
classic.
I'm just a mediator. I'm not a taxi.
You guys realize there's like 60 other cops, right? Not just you two getting your cool one-liners that are affected by this, right? They declined. They actually said, no, we're not going to tell you our reasonings. We don't have to tell you that. It was
They said
what
they didn't have to
what they
explain
want-
themselves to us.
Yeah,
Well, they
it's-
can't explain themselves to themselves.
Isn't
so
that the whole point of
honest fact.
mediation?
Well, that's why
Yeah.
we questioned them and trapped them in lines of questioning, but then they still just didn't care to answer. So, we can't really change anything that they're doing. Unfortunately, it does abide by legislation for the most part. It's all legal. They can do that. However, we can kind of choose how we want to go forward. And me and Cassie talked. We were like, okay. At the end of the day, we could just make this an ego battle and hold everybody up here and be like, hey, don't go down there unless it's 78s. And if that's what we want to do, that's what we want to do. But we wanted to ask everybody. We're going to talk to everybody that's here right now, and then we'll probably do a vote.
The fact that BCSO isn't coming to town anymore? They're not responding to calls unless it's 78s?
Oh, yeah.
Or the fact that, like, they're calling me to be like, hey, can I process this 95?
Okay, that's kind of crazy.
I don't know. I feel like just the same page of why the announcement was put out and basically what it means, like the guidelines of, I don't know, what the intention was. It feels like it's good to get us together in. But also, if you don't want to, I'm cool with it. I get it.
No,
Chief, can I ask you an honest question?
You know, it's really a lose-lose situation, but we got to do what we got to do to make the majority of people happy, because that's the main point, right?
It just sucks because it's gonna hurt
would hate
shift
it.
2, like end of shift 2 the most, and Peters and Moss aren't gonna see shift 2, like especially the end of shift 2.
We saw a number of incidents within Los Santos County of BCSO deputies plus kind of taking advantage of the situation, whether that was starting scenes, starting calls within Los Santos County, and then just grabbing the 95 and going up north and leaving LSPD to kind of clean up the mess. Creating situations that were definitely unnecessarily escalated, where and this was specifically BCSO, we're going into gang territories or turfs. They were also twatting, kind of sending like antagonizing messages.
Thanks,
and then LSPD was getting the blame for it.
I get it. I get why you put it in place. It feels like for shift 2 specifically, we were doing really well. These past like 3 weeks, we've been on this like uphill journey, and it's been really good. And that announcement came out, and it felt like it backtracked us 5 steps. And I know that wasn't your intention, and we're just stating what's already in the legislation, and it's partially to what BCSO has done. But
is it the worry about the lack of units?
I mean, last night we did it. We did an entire shift with no BCSO. There were 10 of them sitting up there. I watched people bleed out in buildings because nobody would come to help me. I could not respond to calls. Ray Lee went down. We went up there, and we were told, LSPD, it's code 4, you can break off. Not, we're gonna have units, a few you can break off. It was just, you can go back to this. Like, it's already affecting police work.
And the reality of the legislation, the reality of the way that things are written is that if there's not a senior plus on duty, they hold their rank. You know, they said in that meeting earlier that they would do whatever it takes to work with us. And I said, then why won't you do this? And they didn't really have an answer for me there. So I don't think that they really want to work with us, Avery, to be completely honest.
I've seen a lot of things personally that I would think people would get fired for personally, but I'm just
like what, that BCSO has done, or
yeah. I feel like both departments just need to be straight with each other and just hash this out so we can ultimately be a UPD. Because at the end of the day, this is going to hurt both departments when you need backup and one refuses to because it's in the other county.
No, we understand it's not you guys putting it out there. Like, I'm not saying you to change your mind or do it. I'm just saying this is what the effects are happening from the shift now that they're not coming down here.
Everything everyone's saying here, working together, is what pretty much most of the officers think in the LSPD. I basically told them the first time they tried to bring up the whole, if you're arrested in Los Santos, you have to be processed at MRPD. I said, that's stupid. We need the BCSO in shift 2. We're down horrendous. And I was threatened with a demotion because of that and a bunch of other stuff. And that's why I transferred. I think they should get a feel for what it's like if we don't help them. So they actually understand, because their current thought process, and I know this because I've been told it by them in the past, is the BCSO will just come down and help us no matter what.
Get why you guys did it. There were problems, but I will say what they're doing is causing an effect, which sucks, but it's what they wanted.
I respect LS High Command. I like the vision. I love what y'all are doing with PD. We're just kind of expressing frustrations with the change that happened today.
Is the county gonna fold under, though? I mean, something like that?
No, the county, our pay will be fine.
It's related to the bench trial.
Or just our budget won't build.
Our budget's fine right now. We have money.
I don't want you guys to take everything that is happening in this current moment as set in stone. Everybody needs to be a little bit empathetic about the fact that they were just kind of hit with this, and this is their initial reaction.
I get it, and yeah, that is very logical. But the thing is, what you put in legislation, people interpreted their own way, right?
They can make decisions as command.
Said,
Command absolutely can make decisions
guys,
without talking to everyone. That's what they're for.
now,
That's
you
what they're
know,
made for,
we're
is
gonna
command.
be-
There's only like 5 people at the prison and 4 guards went down, so they could have guns and shit. So, yalla, let's go.
And it goes both ways. So it's like when we go help out in the north, they're in charge.
No, we don't. No, we don't.
Yes.
Yeah, we do.
yes.
Yes, we do. It goes both ways.
At that.
Yeah,
I don't know.
if there are 78s or there's a call and they need backup,
Yeah,
I fully
yeah.
expect that LSPD will go
Yeah,
and
we
assist
do
them.
that.
Raised a lot of disagreements with how High Command is forcing their hand not to come down here.
We want them to come down here.
It's
we
their
want-
command that doesn't want them down here.
It was their decision to not come
That's
here.
what I mean. It's an unfair
Carvana
decision
approach.
made by them to
We
prevent
want
their
them to-
officers
Not
from coming down here.
not you. Their high command is preventing
Their
them from coming down
command.
here.
I just was filling you in on the vote. We me and Cassie talking. We're like, we're just gonna do whatever our department wants to do, and let them decide on it on a vote. I put up a vote on if we want to just abide by their legislation and go down there and respond to calls as normal and see what happens, or we stay up here and only respond to 78s.